From KCTS FM Phoenix, I'm Jameson Greenwood with Greenwood & Company. Well, I hope everybody's having a good week. The weather's a bit more calm than the rains we had last week, but as a special bonus, it's getting cooler. I haven't talked about it a whole lot on this show, but one of my favorite things to do when I was going to college up in the Arizona high country was to just take long walks everywhere I went. I would walk to the grocery store, I would walk to St. Edward's Episcopal Church, I would even walk to the booth where I did the jazz bookstore, my first radio show. Now, walking is great, but there are a lot of cities where you can't get along without a car, so at one point I decided I would start looking for a car while I was up there in the high country. And a couple of the vehicles I looked at, they weren't meant to be, but they just, well, let's just jump right into it. Although I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, a very spread-out car-dependent city, I did not have much interest in learning to drive when I turned 16. Part of this was a high bar to clear involving cars. I've mentioned on other occasions that I had wanted a Lincoln Town Car since I was 6 years old, with a Ford fuel-injected V8 engine, automatic transmission, a cross-haired hood ornament, vinyl top, automatically adjusting velour seats, orange-tone wood paneling, and plenty of chrome. The other guys would be driving Mustangs, Camaros, or Toyota Supras, and though their cars would give them the short-term benefit of speed, my car would have the long-term benefit of comfort, beauty, and luxury. However, the town car was a vehicle which, to purchase brand new, required either an executive salary, a maxed-out 401k plan, or if you were really lucky, both. I was too busy trying to get good grades and writing poetry to work in high school, so I had very little money, and even if I had some income, a newer town car was prohibitive. I tried to convince my parents that it would not cost much to buy an older town car from the late 80s, which was in fact the model that most appealed to me. But when they pointed out the lack of airbags and a back seat with only lap belts, along with increased risk of the fixed or repaired daily business that Ford was known for, I gave up on a town car, but because I could not imagine driving anything else, I gave up on driving altogether. I got my license before I went to northern Arizona to go to college, but upon settling in there, I realized a car wasn't all that necessary. The High Country University campus was small enough that I could walk anywhere in less than 15 minutes, and I could walk downtown to the Episcopal Church and Brubeck's coffee shop in half an hour. Some further locations required bus rides, but with such a small city, Pine Bow was able to keep their buses moving more frequently than Phoenix, and sometimes the walk was fast enough I just skipped the bus altogether. Many people talk about the freshman 15, or the 15 pounds you gain when you begin attending university as a result of binge eating to relieve stress. In my case, however, it was the opposite problem. I was so nervous when I first moved away from home that I could not eat, so I ended up losing 15 pounds rather than gaining it. And since I walked everywhere, I got plenty of exercise keeping my weight off, accentuated by the hills of northern Arizona. Even though I enjoyed the freedoms and health benefits of a non-motorist's lifestyle, I felt a bit out of place as the only one among my friends at Brubeck's coffee shop who did not have a car. Early on, Heather and Annabelle were the only ones who had a car, sharing their burgundy Subaru Forester, but Colton soon saved up enough money and bought himself an orange Kia Rio. "How do you like that car, Colton?" I asked. "Pretty good," he replied. "My family's driven Hyundai and Kia for years." "Maybe I'll buy one for myself," I thought. This left Colton puzzled. "I thought you liked not having a car." "I do, but if I have to move back to Phoenix after I graduate, I'm going to need to drive." "Your parents going to help you get one?" "Actually," I told him, "I've been saving some money to buy one myself. I'd want a car like this, but I don't see them much on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace." "We could go with you to the Kia dealer," Colton suggested. "They probably got one there you could check out." A couple weeks later, Heather noticed a used Kia Rio on sale at Ray Lewiston Chevrolet Kia out on Highway 89 heading toward Eagle Crater. Hoping that the risk would be low, we went out to Ray Lewiston Chevrolet Kia the next Saturday to see if we could take the Rio for a test drive. I asked Colton and Heather to come with me so I could have some backup, and we walked toward the showroom, which had a brand new bright red Chevy Silverado on a rotating platform in front of the door. We didn't make it to the door before a well-built salesman with a goatee and a Marine-style haircut came and introduced himself. "Name's Harry. Welcome to Ray Lewiston." Harry was not dressed pretentiously, wearing a blue polo with the dealer logo, khakis, and brown loafers, but his sharing a name with Professor Harold Hill, the con artist from The Music Man, and his hydraulic press of a handshake struck me as red flags. "Who's buying?" "I am. I'm interested in that blue Kia Rio out front." "Are you ready to buy today?" "Well, not necessarily," I told him. "How much were you looking at for a down payment?" I wasn't sure I should say, so I just said $2,000. The car was advertised for $10,000, so I hoped this might make Harry leave me alone. "Oh, you're selling yourself short with that Rio, man. Come take a look at this Ram 1500. It's a little more than that Rio, but your down payment won't make a difference." As we followed him to the other side of the lot, I turned to Colton and Heather, who were both wide-eyed and more alarmed than I was. "Let's just see," I mouthed to them. From the outside, the Dodge Ram looked to be in decent shape. The white body was in pristine condition, the bed looked unused, and the beige interior was clean as a whistle. Colton and Heather got in the back seat, I got into the driver's seat, and Harry got into the front passenger seat and handed me the keys. While listening to Car Talk on NPR, I once heard Tom Magliazzi say to a caller that before you buy a used car, you should turn on the radio, so as soon as I turned on the ignition, I checked all the presets. Each was set to a headbanger metal station, which according to Tom was a good sign that the transmission's shot. "I just remembered that I have a chemistry test to study for," I proclaimed. "We'll let you have it for $0 down," Harry exclaimed. "Sorry, I can't buy today." "You're an English major," Heather asked me. "Why are you taking a chemistry test?" "I'm not," I explained, "but that Harry sure wasn't going to let me alone until I bought something." "Jimmy, if you want a Kia, I'd look on Carvana," Colton said. "Sorry that didn't work out, Jimmy," Heather replied. "It's not your fault, Heather," I told her. "Besides, I've got to get ready for the jazz bookstore tonight." That evening, I did the Jazz Bookstore, my weekly radio show, where I shared selections of Roxy Coss and Paul Desmond, and much like I do with all of you, some poetry and stories about my friends at Brubeck's. As I let the tracks play, I sat in the booth surrounded by the soundboard, microphones, charcoal acoustic foam on the walls, and checked my social media feed to discern how many people were listening. I often corresponded with my parents and sister and Brubeck's friends while I did this, when Colton sent me a link to an estate sale he discovered. I wasn't as penny-wise as Colton and didn't go to thrift stores or estate sales as often as I should have, but he thought a certain item might interest me. A 1990 Cadillac Brougham, 42,000 miles, only $3,000. Now, would I spend $3,000 on that vehicle? We'll have to find out after we take this short break. You are listening to Greenwood and Company on KCTS. Tired of all the empty promises of whitening and cavity protection from other toothpastes? Then consider Dentifrica, the new extra-strength toothpaste that has everything you're looking for. Our Snow White Clear Coat paint-based formula gives your teeth that extra special coating, making them shiny as a string of pearls. The minty flavor tastes like candy without the guilt, and the caustic chemicals of our antibacterial formula kill off cavity-causing plaque and over time, dissolve your entire gums, helping generate countless profits for periodontal surgeons. So if you're in need of a foolproof toothpaste that keeps your cavities in check, your breath fresh, and you're not worried about the long-term health of your mouth, buy a tube of Dentifrica, the strongest toothpaste around, available at Giggett's supermarkets and other subpar retailers. Warning, due to safety concerns, Dentifrica toothpaste is not available for sale in California, Maryland, or New York State. This product is known to cause athlete's foot in the state of Arizona, mononucleosis in Massachusetts, and tick-borne encephalitis in Texas even if tick bites are not present. Parents may lose custody of their children if Dentifrica is purchased for minors. Use of Dentifrica does not eliminate the need for regular flossing. Get a tube of Dentifrica toothpaste today. Sure is amazing what they can get away with selling on the... Oh, are we back? Ignore what I just said. Welcome back. You are listening to Greenwood and Company on the Cactus, KCTS. Now, before the break, I had just gotten a text from my friend Colton about a Cadillac Brougham that was for sale. It didn't have the proper seat belts and airbags that my parents advocated, but it was a big land yacht, meaning it would have a bunch of extra armor should I get in an accident. It may not have been a town car, but it had all the chrome, the vinyl top, the hood ornament, and the automatic velour seats I yearned for. Thus I figured it was worth a try. He and Heather would be going next Saturday morning, and I agreed to join them. We got in Heather's Subaru and drove to the estate sale on Saturday morning, made all the more enjoyable as Annabelle went with us. The house was a ranch style built around 1980 and looked unchanged from its initial completion, save a newer Vizio LCD TV for sale. I had first explored the house a bit with Annabelle, who bought a pewter necklace with a ruby pendant due to her love for the color red, along with some saxophone sheet music for Elton John and Wham songs. After glancing around the 3 bedrooms to see if there was anything of interest, I decided to take action on the Brougham. "Is that Cadillac spoken for?" I asked a lady at the payment table who wore wire-rimmed glasses, spiky gray hair, and a floral print blouse. "First one who's asked for it," the lady, Debbie, replied as she grabbed the keys from her cash box. "I would think more people would want it, but you're the first, young man." Debbie went out with me to the driveway where the stunning silver Cadillac was parked on a slab that was added later to the side of the 2-car garage. I took the door key and unlocked the car, stepping onto the smooth burgundy leather driver's seat. The overhead console lights, the safety lights on the door panels, and the opera lights in the back seat all came on, and the controls on the side of the seat helped me make the adjustments I needed. I had never felt more perfectly positioned to operate a motor vehicle. From there I placed the key in the ignition, turned it, and the 5-liter carbureted engine started up and kept running. A good sign. The digital dashboard with its neon green indicators all came on, no sign of any trouble. The radio presets were all set to these boring financial talk radio stations, but at least it wasn't headbanger music. I pressed the brake, shifted the transmission into reverse, and backed out of the driveway. No hesitation. Even though it took 5 seconds to get out of the driveway, it seemed like an eternity, waiting to actually shift into drive and get out on the road. Then, when I attempted to shift into drive, I tried to push it into overdrive, or 3rd gear, but no luck. No luck with 2nd. No luck with 1st. I went back to reverse and was able to get it back a few more inches. Then, hoping it was just a bad shift the first time, I pressed the brake harder and attempted to go into drive. No luck. If I was going to buy this car, I would either have to get the transmission replaced, or rig up some sort of Mr. Bean rigging, steering, and lighting system to make it drivable with the single reverse gear that actually worked. I informed Debbie that it only ran in reverse, which she apparently was not aware of. She apologized, saying, "I'll go take care of it right away." But how? Was she going to change into some mechanic overalls and rebuild the transmission right then and there? Would she do a Mr. Bean retrofit like I had pondered? Set it on fire to collect the insurance money? After the Cadillac troubles, I bought myself an oscillating desk fan, a blue Peter Popper pressed Celestial Journal with gold accents on the spine, and an LP of Camelot with Robert Goulet and Julie Andrews. Colton, Heather, Annabelle, and I returned to the Subaru and noticed the fix that Betsy had made to the car. It didn't take any sort of mechanical talent for the fix that she affixed to it, simply a sold sign so that nobody would take any interest in it. While Annabelle drove us in the Subaru to get lunch at Mary Lou Higgins' restaurant, I made the decision to put my car search on hiatus until further notice. Disappointing at first, especially considering that beautiful Cadillac that could have been mine, but when time came that evening for me to walk from Tatum Hall to the campus radio station to perform the jazz bookstore, I took delight in the scent of pine trees, the beauty of the blue skies, the crisp chill against my skin, and the sound of Seth MacFarlane singing Green Dolphin Street on my earbuds. The right car would come along, but for now I would walk, and walk with a sense of purpose, dedication, and joy. You're listening to Greenwood and Company on KCTS. If there's one thing that drives our mission, it's convenient values. You may be on your own long term, But in the short run, Hexagon Corporation will keep all our short-term, cost-effective promises to ensure we can ensnare your money. And in your backyard, we cut costs and create plenty of short-term jobs that make layoffs a snap. Even though most of our executives failed business math, increased profits at low costs are the 6 core values the Hexagon Corporation lives by, at least until we find a more lucrative solution. Even though at the end of the day we're trying to yank your dollars from under your feet, we'll always remember our 6 core values and make sure to practice them in every interaction with you. Even if we don't actually apply it toward what we're doing today, and even if the 6 core values are actually only 2 or 3. We don't care much about you, but we'll take care of you, mainly when we can make the big bucks. Hexagon Corporation. Yesterday, today, 6 sides. Yeah. Warning, any investment in Hexagon Corporation constitutes securities fraud and could put you in federal prison. Support for Greenwood and Company and the Cactus KCTS comes from DecorEjects.com, an exclusive online retailer of broken vases, beat-up furniture, and poorly exposed photographs, all at prices to meet your budget. DecorEjects.com, because trash deserves to sell too. Additional funding is provided by the Used Car Salesman Plaid Sport Coat Foundation and the Save the Floppy Disks Foundation. Well, I felt a desire to close out tonight's show talking again about those land yachts that I absolutely love, so the poem I wanted to share with you all is a little tribute to them all, which I call Land Yacht Sonnet. Sporty cars, both high in speed and price, don't bring the joys of classic luxury. Though their ACs may still blow cold as ice, the best would match a different set of keys. Their bodies may be sharp with rigid angles, old-fashioned with their Landau vinyl tops, but leather seats have just the perfect angle. A cozy car ain't just for Graham and Pops. When traveling to places unfamiliar, a sense of comfort's always what we need. Though from the past their features quite peculiar, their gentle rides will pleasure you. Take heed. Though inefficient, large, a pain to park, the land yachts on my heart still make their mark. That brings an end to this week's Greenwood and Company. Our show was created and hosted by yours truly and was written by him along with James Salison and Minnesota Martinez. The engineer is Ivan Crosby. Jonas Andrews answers the phones even though we don't take calls on this program. The theme was composed by Martin Landstrom, and our costumes are provided by Grandma's Garage Thrift Shop. All the characters, settings, and situations depicted in this program, along with all advertised products, are entirely fictional, and any similarities to products, events, or persons, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. Also, KCTS is not an actual radio station. Be sure to visit our website at jamesongreenwoodpodcast.com to learn more about Greenwood and Company, and make sure to follow us on the podcast platform of your choice and share with your friends on social media. Just a reminder to please be careful if you are going out on the 101, the 17, or Route 66 tonight. I'm Jameson Greenwood, and until we meet again, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay young at heart. Good night. This is KCTS FM Phoenix. Stay tuned for Lacking in Substance.